So what is the difference between selling smaller roofs, let's say 20 to 35 or 40 square roofs, and huge roofs, those 40, 50, 60, up to 80 square residential roofs with monster commissions? Well, I'm going to break that down in this video thanks to High Tier Smash, the YouTube subscriber who dropped a comment saying, "Hey Adam, can you please do a video on the difference between selling small roofs and big roofs?" And then he's followed up with a comment later on as well, a second comment on the same video saying, "Hey, the cutoff for me is about 40 square, so how can I start selling larger roofs better?" And I really want to focus on this because I know all of us are out there, we drive by and we see the big roofs and we want to go after them and we want to get those sales, because they're bigger deals, bigger commission, and a more efficient use of our time. And who doesn't love hunting whales? So I'm going to break all that down and more in just a minute. But first, I want to say welcome or welcome back. My name is Adam Bensman, the Roof Strategist, and my mission is to help you and your team smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. And to help kickstart that journey, if you are new here, is a free copy. Getting this in your hands, a free copy of my Pitch Like a Pro roofing sales training video library. Over 300 videos. I know it says 240. We got to update that. Over 300 videos organized by category for easy binging, and you can get yours now for free over at theroofstrategist.com or by clicking the link in the description right now. All right, now let's get to this. Difference between selling small and big roofs. Should we do the worst part first? Let's do it. There's no difference. Video over. Check out. Go on to the next one. Now, don't do that because we're going to get into the real difference. Because the truth is, there's no difference on how you sell these. The difference is subtle. The sales system, the sales process is all the same. Whether you're using your own, whether you're using my roofing sales success formula, my closing strategy I teach, you'll notice that there's nothing that says, oh, use this for small roofs and this for big roofs. It's all the same. What we're going to get into now is the psychology of why it's different and why you, High Tier Smash, may have struggled. But first, I want to showcase this in a story. There's a gentleman that used to sell for us, and he was more of a, I'll call him a blue-collar cowboy type. All right, so he wore a cowboy hat. He drove like a maroon-colored, rusted-out truck, and he did really, really well with certain homeowners. And one day we had a tornado come through, and this multi-family property got destroyed. And this gentleman who sold with us, whose name I'm going to keep out, he was in the right place at the right time and signed this deal. But he was the kind of guy that, again, would show up in his ranch clothes. He had a lip full of dip. He was spitting on the sidewalk. And he signed the deal with the CFO of a massive, not only one multifamily property, but about 10. A property that we did get the job, and the homeowner flew over in his private plane to take photos of the work in progress. You can see here the picture I'm painting, the type of person and the way he carried himself connecting to this CFO. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The CFO of this company calls me up. His name was Rich, and he goes, Adam, the gentleman that was out here, I do not want to work with him. And we had to pull him off the project. And the reason, professionalism, it just didn't match. They weren't a good fit. And that is the perfect segue into the real difference between selling small and huge roofs, because it's not what you do. It's not the sales process. It is deeper than that. It's how you relate. Now, as my wife Sheena says, there's a pot for every lid, okay? Which means here's you, here's your customer. You've seen it, you know, the couples, and you're like, how in the world did he get her? Or how did she get him? Either way, you think it's like a mystery. But there's a pot for every lid. Everyone's a good fit. We do the same thing with our customers. We have the right match. Now, I'll tell you, I did really well. Oops, forgot to see there. I did really well with stay-at-home moms. I did really well with the elderly. And I did really well in more upper-class communities. Now, other people couldn't close the deal to save their life with a stay-at-home mom. Other folks don't do well with the elderly because there's not trust, or they seem like a kid in the eyes of the elderly person. So the point is, you need to find who's your match. Who do you get along with easiest? Key word I want you to think of here is the word relate. It's relatability. How do you relate to that person? All right, now this gentleman in the example I shared with you couldn't relate to the CFO. He got the deal, but quickly it fell apart because they couldn't relate. The gentleman who sold the project didn't know the pains, what keeps this gentleman up at night, what this property needs. He didn't know how to speak to what was truly important because they simply could not relate. Have you had that happen? You've been in social settings, you just can't relate to someone? Now, in these bigger projects, what we need is a high level of what we call executive rapport, the ability to relate to an executive. By the way, I got this phrase here, or this name from Derek Gatehouse, the author of The Perfect Sales Force, which is a really good book for any sales manager or owner out there who's leading a sales team. Highly recommend it. And I do believe it is on my recommended reading list as well. All right, so key difference here between selling small and big roofs is this simple. You need to be able to relate to that person. So high tier smash, my guess is the 40 square roof isn't the issue. It is the type of person who's there and likely some sort of disconnect. Now, last thing I want to highlight, and then we're going to call this one a wrap, is this. Folks who are in smaller properties, let's say the 20 to 40 square, are generally working class communities, maybe blue collar communities. Now think about it. These folks are likely doing their own lawn maintenance, right? They're do-it-yourselfers, fix it on your own, and maybe a little bit more financially conscious on the decisions on improvements on their home. Meanwhile, folks who are living in these 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 square homes, do you think they're doing their own lawn maintenance? No, they got a guy for that. Think they're doing their own pool maintenance? No, they got a guy for that. Think they're doing their own pest control? No, they got a guy for that. So the difference of what's important to them, this person here in the huge roof cares about their garden, the cosmetics, the safety of their kids and their dog, the pool filter, all the expensive items, the pergola, right? The custom landscaping. All of these things are very different needs and desires that you need to just understand are important to them, even if you aren't at the same level. It doesn't matter. I sure as heck was not anywhere near there when I began selling to these people, but I learned very quickly I just need to speak to them on what's important, about how I can protect their home, that I specialize in working with folks with higher end homes. We take the level of attention and care to keep their properties safe. And I hit all the hot buttons that said, I am the right match for you. And by doing that, I developed, again, this very high level of executive rapport that not only helped me land those larger residential properties, but also helped me land larger commercial properties, deal with multi-decision makers on HOAs or strip centers. All right. So your key takeaway from this video, because everything I teach has an actionable strategy for you to implement in the very next sale, is for you to ask yourself right now, who do I relate to the easiest and who's my customer? And I want you to focus on finding more of those. And if you wish to expand that group, your one mission is to learn to know, to get in the mind of that customer what's important so you can speak to it. And there you have it. High Tier Smash, thank you for the comment. If there's any questions that you have or videos you want to see, drop a comment. I take a look and they will inspire a video that hopefully helps you and many others. So thanks again for joining me here today. If you have any questions about products or programs, or maybe you're interested in looking at some for you or your team, there's links to everything I have available, including some freebies in the video and podcast description. But just because our time here is about to wrap up doesn't mean your and my time has to. So if you haven't done it, click here to get a free copy of my Pitch Like a Pro Roofing Sales Training Video Library, or hop right into this video and I will see you on the next one.